On a cold Saturday in Minneapolis, tragedy struck. A federal immigration officer shot and killed 37-year-old Alex Pretti, a well-respected ICU nurse, leaving his family, friends, and community in shock. Alex, known for his advocacy for immigrant rights, had been active in opposing the Trump administration's immigration policies. His commitment to fighting for those without a voice had earned him the respect of many in the city. The events of that day, however, would change everything. Federal officers were in Minneapolis carrying out an operation, but it quickly escalated. Authorities stated that when they tried to engage Alex, he allegedly pulled a handgun from his possession and attempted to resist arrest. According to the Department of Homeland Security, officers fired defensive shots to protect themselves. But eyewitnesses to the incident painted a different picture. The situation, according to those who were there, unfolded rapidly, with limited communication between the officers and the people they confronted. Alex, a nurse who had spent his life caring for others, was not seen as a threat by those who knew him. However, in the moments before his death, it was claimed that he had been acting in a manner that led to confusion, which only escalated the tension. The death of Alex Pretti ignited anger across Minneapolis. Family members and local activists questioned whether the shooting was justified. How could someone who had dedicated his life to helping others end up dead in a confrontation with federal officers? Protests erupted across the city, with hundreds gathering in the cold streets. The scene quickly grew tense. Federal officers, facing off against protesters, deployed flashbangs and used batons to disperse the crowds. The Minnesota National Guard was called in to assist local law enforcement, and tensions mounted. The situation, which had started as an attempt to address federal immigration policy, had become a full-blown crisis. Local and federal officials, scrambling for answers, tried to make sense of the chaotic scene that had unfolded. What led to the officers' decision to fire? Was Alex truly a danger, or was it a tragic mistake in a tense situation? The investigation into the shooting was slow, and for weeks the public was left without answers. The federal government stood by their account of the incident, that the officers had acted in self-defense after Alex had drawn a weapon and resisted arrest. But family members, activists, and citizens continued to press for more transparency. Several weeks later, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, BCA, released its findings. Surveillance footage from nearby cameras revealed crucial details. While Alex had been holding an object in his hand, it was not a gun. The object turned out to be a cell phone, which had been mistaken for a weapon in the confusion. Further investigations also revealed that, in the moments leading up to the shooting, Alex had been attempting to calm the situation, speaking with officers rather than acting aggressively. What came to light was not just a tragedy, but a series of miscommunications. The federal officers involved in the operation had not properly coordinated their actions, and the tense situation spiraled out of control. The object Alex held, the confusion surrounding his actions, and the quick escalation all contributed to the tragic death that followed. After months of public pressure and investigation, the case was officially closed. The officers involved were not charged, as the investigation concluded that the shooting was a tragic consequence of a failed operation. However, the investigation revealed significant flaws in the way federal operations were carried out, including poor communication between the officers and lack of de-escalation protocols. As a result, policy changes were implemented. Federal law enforcement agencies reviewed their approach to operations involving potential confrontations with civilians, with a focus on ensuring that such incidents could be avoided in the future. Alex Pretti's death, while officially deemed a result of an unfortunate series of events, left behind deep scars. It forced a reckoning not only about the policies of immigration enforcement, but also about the way law enforcement engages with communities. The aftermath of his death sparked a larger conversation on the dangers of militarizing local law enforcement, as well as the impact of the broader political climate on individuals like Alex, who had only sought justice. In the world of true crime, there are cases where justice is clear, and others where it remains elusive. For Alex Pretti, his death was ruled a mistake, a tragic outcome of a series of failed communications and hasty decisions. But for his family, friends, and the activists who fought for answers, the case was never truly closed. The investigation brought some clarity, but it also highlighted the systemic issues that lead to such incidents. This case remains a stark reminder of the complexities of policing and how quickly a moment can spiral out of control. The solved case might be archived, but the impact of that fateful day will be felt for years to come.